I've been having a hard time figuring out how to shoot this video and how to talk about this, but it's something that I feel like it's my responsibility to do, because it's something you're going to have to address at some point or another if you're trying to turn streaming into a career. And especially the people that I feel like I really relate to, I feel like you need to hear this the most. The people who struggle with self-value, the people who maybe didn't have a big social life growing up or in high school, and now you're trying to essentially make a career on social media, a career being social because you love video games, you want to make it a career, and you're going to hit a couple emotional walls. And it's important that you recognize that. I was on the Trainwrecks Scuffed podcast like a couple of months ago, and as grateful as I am that he invited me onto it and said a lot of nice things about me, that was a very toxic experience. And there was really only one point that I felt like I wanted to contribute to the conversation, and the chat got incredibly toxic about it. We were talking about the fact that my wife and I have both been full-time content creators for years now, and how important it is to full-time content creators that they have someone who understands and relates to them as you go through the ups and downs of relevancy on social media that most people just don't understand. And of course, chat went off like, oh, it's so hard losing relevancy. Oh no, you don't get likes on your tweets. Nobody, oh, how hard is that? Your life is so hard. And I get it. Like, it's the Scuffed podcast. Like, the chat is incredibly toxic. I know that's not everybody, but there is a huge part of this career that a lot of people don't understand. And just to help people get it, the way when I talk to friends and family about this, the way I explain it is, I want you to imagine that, let's say you're in high school, and imagine someone came up to you and said, I'm going to pay you $100 for every friend that you make, $100 a week for every friend that you have. Which sounds like a really cool job. Okay, I'm going to go out and make friends, and not only do I get to make friends, I also get to make money. It's a win-win. And so you go out, and the first week you make 2 friends, and you have 2 friends that you start hanging out with, and the end of the week you get paid $200, which is really cool. And then the next week, maybe they invite you over to some of their other friends, and now you've got 5 friends the end of the next week, and you make $500 that week. And it circulates. The more friends you have, the more they talk to each other, the more you're interacting with people, and suddenly you're up to 50 friends, and you have a ton of people to hang out with, a ton of people that love being around you, and what, 50 friends is what, $5,000 a week? You're on cloud 9 right now, and winning in all aspects of life. And then one week, 2 of those friends stop calling you back. Maybe they feel like they found out about your deal, right? And they feel like you're only being their friend for money, so they stop hanging out with you. And then maybe they tell a couple other friends that they felt that way, and there's a couple of friends that you didn't get to relate to as much, and maybe that this next week you lose 10 friends and you drop $1,000. And it's not a big deal. It's a little bit of a shock, but there are 10 people that were there, your friend, and they don't want to be your friend anymore, and you lost $1,000 that week. And then the word starts circulating around that you're losing friends and losing money, and so more people stop hanging out with you, and you're kind of starting to panic because suddenly people don't want to hang out with you and your financial situation, so you feel like you have to make more friends to compensate for that, and you're slowly spiraling down of not only your financial situation is starting to struggle, but also you're feeling like what are you doing wrong? Like, why do people not want to be around you? And it's this attack on your financial situation is reflective of your self-worth. And that's what a career on social media is you are essentially making a career out of how many people want to be around you and how many people want to listen to you. And as that relevancy dies, because I've been there, by the way, my previous career on social media was music, and I remember as the views started slowing down, it not only takes a financial hit, but you start doubting yourself, and you start wondering why people don't like you anymore. And it didn't hit me as much as it may have hit my wife, because it was her name, it was her channel, and she was always a more social person than me. But it's a very weird thing to so clearly synchronize your social self-worth with your with your career success. And you can't, on social media, you can't separate those two, which causes a lot of depression. And I do find it fascinating that we live in a world where we are very aware of how much Instagram and all social media can cause depression, while at the same time, when you see content creators or influencers talk about how they're struggling, everybody's so cynical, like, oh, your life is so hard, you're a YouTuber, stop complaining. But it's real. Any drop in relevancy isn't just a hit on your financial situation, it hurts you internally and you feel worthless. And I have to address this and give you a little bit of guidance, because I have been a huge push of recognizing this is a career, treat it like a business, recognizing your weaknesses, whether that be in your talents or in your presentation as a person. And I just wanted to spend a moment to reassure you. I've seen a lot of people trying to grow on Twitch that put on a persona that doesn't feel natural. And I get that you're trying. I get that you're trying to turn this into a career, and you're trying to become someone that people enjoy watching. You're trying to be an entertainer. But when you do that every day or almost every day, and you try to be this person that other people like, the reality eventually hits you that you don't think your normal self is good enough. That you don't think that people would want to hang out with you if you were just you. And the solution's not a clear one. Because at the end of the day, you are going to realize that this is a job, and you are an entertainer, and you are going to have to be incredibly self-analytical about your personality and your presence, and how welcoming are you, and how sociable are you, and how do you make people feel when they're around you. It's going to be a learning experience for you as a human, and there's a possibility that you can really grow from it and become a more confident individual by streaming. I know I definitely have. But I've been feeling an obligation to sit and make this video and remind you that if you're sitting and you're reflecting yourself and you're saying as a streamer, like, I'm kind of a weirdo, I don't know why anybody would want to sit and watch me, I want to remind you that there are going to be a million different types of people that stumble upon your channel and find you, and some of those people are going to be weirdos too. And every one of those weirdos needs a friend and someone they can talk to and sit and relax and feel a connection with. And that if you're going to make a change within yourself, the biggest change you can make as a creator and as an entertainer isn't going to be becoming someone you're not, but the most impactful change on yourself that not only will help you grow but help you be a more successful streamer is going to be accepting who you are, and the confidence in your quirks, that those make you who you are, those make you unique, and recognizing that it's okay to be your weird self. And you should not only be okay with that, but you should learn to love it. And more so than becoming a more confident, different person, focus on loving the quirks that maybe made you struggle socially in high school, and learning to accept those about yourself, because the internet is a very different place than at least it was for me when I was in high school. And the most important thing I went through was learning to accept the things that for the longest time I was told not to accept. Anyway, I've rambled on for a little bit. I've just made a handful of videos encouraging you guys to look at this like a business and be realists and recognize, even if it hurts, what you need to learn to do to grow. And so I feel like I'm responsible for anyone who's maybe tried to change themselves to fit in with the cool crowd on Twitch. And I needed to address this, that if you're going to make any changes to your embodiment, who you choose to be in front of the camera, the most important one you can make is loving the weirdness about yourself. And I think that's the one that your viewers are going to notice the most too. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'm so grateful that you come and watch these videos. And I hope this helps someone, because these realizations have helped me a lot in my life. But anyway, I'm going to head back to DreamHack. I love you guys, and as always, happy streaming.